Page 32, Dutch dance. At the top of the page, they talk a little bit about dance forms. So way back in 1600s, 1500s, and long before, all kinds of dance forms. A lot of the Baroque music, you'll see all these fancy words. They're actually types of dances. Many of them are. It's interesting reading. They all have their own peculiarities and ways of doing things. And it had a lot to do with the development of music over time. Dances became very important. So, Dutch dance. 3/4 times, got one sharp, so we're in the key of G major. Did I talk about G major? I don't know. Hopefully you're still doing the C major scale. Now if you've got that scale down pretty well, then go ahead and start doing the G major scale. It's got one sharp in it, so do the one octave up and down on G, learn the G major scale. Right hand first. You're starting with the little finger on the D, and you go here. Now, when I approach a piece of music, I forget all the slurs and phrases and dynamics and all that junk. All I'm interested in is notes and fingers. The right fingers on the right notes. That's all we want here. The 3/4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. We got eighth notes in second. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. If that's too fast, slow it down. It's all right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. So I go through and I work out, make sure I can get all the notes and rhythms in the right hand. Then do the same with the left. Left hand is 1, 2. Looks like the left hand is mostly quarter notes. Second line, first note is an F sharp. You just reach down. C sharp. Okay, now go down to the last line, last two measures. Left hand is here. That's tricky. You have the last note in the next to the last measure is a C, middle C. Then you got two notes, a B and a G, or G and a B. I usually try and say the bottom note first in the order of the notes, and also finger numbers. I'll try and say the bottom finger first. It's just out of habit, just trying to be consistent with something. Most of the time I get it right. So it's G and a B here. Try and get these down at the same time as best you can. You're just lowering the hand down and playing here. I'll come back to that in a minute. Try to put the hands together and see what happens. That's too fast, you can't get that in, then go slower. Second line. Just work it out very slowly. This third line's an interesting one. Look at this. Eighth notes. So that's a little tricky. So you can play that, and then you're back to what you were doing. When you can put the hands together, then we can go in and we can add other things. And what I like to add next is the articulation. We haven't had any articulation to speak of except connecting the notes and separating slurs. For the two-note slur, where they're separated, that's the only articulation. Articulation is how you play the note. So here we have a couple articulation marks they're showing. At the beginning, those first, the right hand, the D has that little sideways arrow on it. That's called an accent sign. An accent sign means you give it a little more oomph. So if I play it normal, the first beat of a measure is a natural accent. You're going to feel that. But this gives a little more of that. We want more of an accent on that. And that's what this is. There are accents stronger than this, so don't get carried away with it. It's just an accent. Left hand doesn't get an accent. Left hand's got to stay out of the way. So put in the accents, go all the way through it, make sure you can get the accents, and then at the bottom, the last two measures, you see the dots, there's staccato marks. That means you play it short. Remember, you can have legato and you can have staccato. That's all you get. Legato is connecting them. Staccato is anything else. Well, when they give you staccato marks, in most cases, they're short. So it's... So, play them short. Technique for it, for right now, just kind of bounce on it. Boom, boom, like at the wrist. Just a light bounce. Don't get heavy with the arm. That's something else. Just a light bounce with the wrist. Here. And that's the staccato. So we put in the accents and we put in the staccato, this and the slurs. So you're going to... Of course, it's a repeated note. You have to separate it on a piano. It's a repeated note. But look at the third measure. Separate the A and the C. I have a problem with that, but it's part of the dance. Feel the dance. This part, this measure, will be played similarly to the measures before it. Keep it the same. So you're going to separate it. You're going to play them staccato, really is what it is. It's a long staccato, it's not a short one. At the bottom you want short staccatos, but these are long. We have to develop the ability to be able to do independent things with our hands when playing piano. Because the hands just naturally want to mirror each other. If one hand's doing something, the other hand wants to do the same. Look at the second line here in the first measure. In the right hand we have this. You're going to separate those notes. You have to, it's the same note. If you look at their left hand, that's a slur. You're going to connect those. Can you separate it in one hand and connect it in the other? Like that. Because in the other measures, you're doing the same. You're slurring both. But here, you're not. So you want to keep this going, but the right hand's doing something different. You gotta watch out for that. Different people will interpret this stuff slightly differently, so I'm just kind of giving you a middle of the road, and we'll talk about interpretation more as we go through the book. Then once I have that, I can add the dynamics. It starts medium loud, moderately loud, MF. That's the right hand. Keep the left hand soft. You have to decide what medium loud is. It's not loud, it's a little less than that, but it's not soft either. And I didn't talk about the speed. It says lively. I've been trying to do lively. It's my version of lively. Your version might be something else. It's a happy piece. Think of a festival and people out in the street dancing or whatever. That's what it is, I think. And then once you get all that, then you get it well enough where you can start feeling it. That's really where the dynamics come in. This. And basically, they don't give you any dynamics other than the MF at the beginning. But once you get to know it well enough that you can feel it, you can get a little louder and softer depending on how you feel. It's an interpretive thing. You don't have to play it all exactly the same loudness. Get a little louder and feel it. Like in the third line, you might bring this down a little bit. And then last line, maybe you go back up to loud, or the medium loud, because it's the same as it was at the beginning. So alter this dynamics a little bit. If you have a teacher, they'll tell you how they want you to alter it, maybe. Let's play this together slowly. Now, when we do the play with me's, I don't do dynamics, but I'll try and do most everything else. And we go really slow. I leave the lively part up to you. I'm not doing that lively, but you can if you want. So I'm going to give us 3 counts, and let's play this slowly together. 1, ready, go.